Hello, Fightful Faithful. Love is in the air, and also
Literally.
vengeance, apparently. So, welcome to the Fightful NXT Vengeance Day 2025 post show review, starring me, a guy with bouncy hearts on his head, and Kate. I also have necklaces with little hearts on them, and I'm wearing an "I'm a Hugger" shirt. I'm all blinged out for the big holiday, and Kate isn't
I
because
was
she
not
doesn't
told.
because she doesn't care about you people. That's all.
I
That's all it is.
doesn't care. I brought everybody flowers.
I brought them little sour candies. So,
Oh, good for you.
mhm.
That actually smells delightful. Tulips, man. They'll make
They're
it your
best.
day. Hey guys, this is the NXT Vengeance Day post show. It is the last show, God willing, I'll be doing from my Mac.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a run, little baby Mac. Thank you for
Yeah.
trying. But get in your super chats. We don't have Humper Chat access tonight. I don't
Yep.
believe.
No, I don't have it, and I know you. I don't think you do either.
I do not. So
Because
super
Luis
chats
has started
only.
his transfer
He
to
did.
Fightful Espanol,
He went
and
to the transfer portal to Fightful
mhm,
Espanol, so we don't
mhm,
have him tonight. But
right,
do send in your super chats. This was a good show. This was really, really good. I felt like for the most part.
yes, yeah,
I
no,
there
like everything that happened on the show, the matches and everything were excellent. I am living in dread of the developments coming out of this, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yes, we will. So, leave a thumbs up on this video. Super chats only, no humper chats. And we will remind you to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com, where there were details about what's going on with Ricky Starks. Where there was the news that Josh Alexander looks like he's headed to AEW. Leaves the possibility for a Josh Alexander G1 Open. That makes me very happy. So much, including some NXT scoop skis. We saw Jordan Grace show up. We knew she'd be
Mm,
working on NXT. If you were a Fightful Select subscriber, you would know. So, please do head over there. Best $6 in the biz. That's normally where Alex and I hang out when we're not covering NXT and we're covering other products for PLEs and pay-per-views. So if you like what you see, head over there. You'll get more of it. And oh my gosh, I'm going to be delightfully distracted by your
mm.
Valentine.
Mhm.
Is that what?
Valentine is fans that that's what they are. They are Valentine.
Let's do Valentine's Day puns since we
Yeah,
didn't
no,
really have an
absolutely. Love
opportunity to
love
otherwise.
puns, romance puns, Valentine's Day puns. Hey, do puns of the little things you'll find on the little chalky candy hearts.
Oh,
You know what I
I
mean?
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, do fun
Speaking of love,
fun things like that.
before we get into what was a very good PLE,
Yeah.
I just want to say that I was right about Duke Hudson on this show as well, because he put out another vignette on his social media,
Did.
and it was, in my opinion, even better than the first one. I was right. Somebody please
Mhm.
make Duke Hudson a megastar, since WWE failed miserably at it. How they weren't like, you know what would be fun? 6 months of him and Ethan Page. I'll never know, but it was really, really, really compelling stuff.
Kate, these are so good. I wonder if he's going to get a call.
I honestly thought this might be them Drake Mavericking it, as
Not
happened with him.
that they might Drake Maverick him, because these are so good. You could just run this exact angle on the show.
On the show, you wouldn't have to think twice about it. It's wild how good. Like, I've always loved the guy, but this stuff is like out of control how good it is.
It is very, very good on his social media. Him interviewing himself with split screen. The first one was like a kind of an obvious split screen, but like he has as far from his interview subject as Zach Galifianakis is in between two ferns. But the second one, their knees are almost touching.
Yeah.
Like, that's really good special effects.
Editing. Yeah.
So this was excellent. Go watch it. I love that he brings up our plan at first was obviously to turn on Chase U, and then we didn't end up doing it. and we should have. Look at everybody else who worked with Chase U and then turned on them. They're all A, still employed, and B, at a much higher level than they were from before. Why didn't we do it? Well, because, we found a home there. Oh, bullshit.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good. And I love, there's only one point where he kind of breaks the fourth wall as the interviewer, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. But we also knew that the plan was for him to turn on Chase U, and they never went through with it. So also, I mean, it's not a scoop or anything. It just felt like we were right about the creative direction. Right. And I like to talk about when we were right. But, hey, there was a lot of things that were right on this PLE today. We'll talk about some of the ramifications of what that could look like, because we've got Retribution. We've got Nexus 2.0. We got whatever this faction is hovering around some stuff. But
I call them Shield Tribution.
Shield Tribution is really good. Shield Tribution, I like.
Draws starts out saying, greetings, SGS. Hail Team KLX. This show delivers some nice events, but I wish I knew about the start time. At this point, going forward, expect everything WWE does to start at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you're on the West Coast of America, that's in the middle of your afternoon. And if you're in Central Time, that is right when you're supposed to have dinner on the table for your family. And if you cook all the meals, as I do, you're hustling your buns up to make sure you feed 3 people stuff in time to run upstairs and watch the opening match. And it's no fun. It's great to start a pay-per-view review before 8 p.m. Central Time. That part's good. But
it's honestly wild.
It's the very hectic. Like if it was an hour and a half later for me, or even earlier, it's fine. But like right at dinner time is really difficult for me to do my thing. It's just I'm not used to it.
It's very weird.
For the grand history of wrestling pay-per-views, they had always started at 5 p.m. my time. It would be fine. I'd be used to it. But I'm an old man, and I shake my fist at the clouds, and I say, back in my day, they started at 8 p.m. Eastern, just like they always did. We liked it.
Well, I'm excited because I think we're actually going to get to catch Collision in full, which makes me really happy because I am looking forward to that show. There is going to be a Collision post show because we got some late night freaks for you hanging out on the Collision post show. So stay tuned for that. But Alex, this was like a rhythm of 6 matches of 2 non-title matches. And 4 matches is a really digestible show for me. And everything had appropriate builds going into it, which is new. I have concerns about the exit on a few things, but I gotta say, this product really does genuinely feel like it is getting better for the first time in a very long time. And this PLE was more fun for me to watch because of that.
Right. Let's get a few of these out of the way early so they don't pile up on us because we don't have anybody here wrangling them for us. Just Ricardo says, Happy Vengeance Day, my lovelies. Happy Vengeance Day to you, Just Ricardo. Tom LaValle says, love y'all. It's my birthday. My back hurts. Your back is going to hurt more each birthday as you get older.
Happy birthday. Here's a tulip.
Yeah.
I gave you a flower.
Line Drive, I believe this is about Duke Hudson, saying anyone who has seen his YouTube stuff before being on TV shouldn't be shocked. Guy is great. He is. He's been great in WWE ever since he got there. Even when he was Brendan Vank and he had no character and he was hanging out for no reason during the pandemic. You could tell there was still something with Brendan Vank.
I've been a stan of his since I've seen him. But the stuff he's doing right now is of the post-release vignette stuff, and there's been some really cool ones. This has been my favorite because it feels like a very genuine insight into the struggle that he had. And it doesn't feel like it's biting at the company or anybody else. Even the shots that he took were very not taking shots at the company, right? Mm-hmm. There's something that he just feels really authentic in this. He feels like the same kind of natural talker that Adam Copeland does. I will hammer that home. Watching him gives me Adam Copeland vibes in a very good way. Not goofy, silly Adam Copeland, right. But when he's sincere, delicious stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. So we have a couple of Sweet Heartbreak Kids,
Love it.
Patricia Ricardo, and Romance Green.
Love that
Lieutenant
too.
Photo, fantastic. These are the kind of ones we want. Tom Lavelli says Kenny XOXO Mega, and C Delgado says Bayley the Hugser and Wendy Choo Choo Choose You.
I miss her. I miss Wendy Choo.
Choose You. So we started the show with
The right decision.
Vaquer.
Yes.
Or as Booker T is coming all too close to calling her every time Stephanie Vaquer, like she's definitely saying ear.
Yeah,
and twice today it was definitely KW and not just K in the middle. And I'm like, you just can't call her that. So Vaquer.
Shout out to Vic Joseph, by the way, for being excellent on SmackDown, on what was not a great episode of SmackDown, and really good tonight. I don't mind Joe Tessitore. I think he's pretty good, but there was an up frickin' grade.
I would like to renew my calling. Who would like to sign my petition? Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett calling everything for this company.
Yeah.
2-man booth. That's it. Wade Barrett is knowledgeable, and they have a great rapport,
great chemistry.
And Vic Joseph isn't Michael Cole, and that right there is enough for me, because I'm out on that dude. And also, Wade Barrett isn't Pat McAfee, and he's not Booker T. That's it right there. Joe Tess is great, but he can go back to doing football stuff. That's his deal. So this is great. Just two dudes doing 3 shows. Pay them triple. They deserve it.
He to me is their Ian Riccaboni. He's
very, 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 very good.
You plug him into everything, and he's great. So anyway, back-to-back nights of him was really refreshing to have on a call.
He is not, however, immune from the thing that happens with everybody who calls stuff from WWE, where he just lies to the audience or obfuscates. And so during this match, Stephanie Vaquer and Tiffany, I say Tiffany Fallon. I always do that all the time. I don't know why. Why do I do that? That's not who it is.
Fallon Henley.
Fallon Henley, Tiffany Vaquer. At ringside, sitting there was Tiffany Vaquer. They're all named Tiffany. Did you get the memo? They're changing all the names to the women to Tiffany. So many of the women in the back are all...
You can only put respect on one name, so everybody has to be named it if they want to be respected. I understand.
There you go. So
Chestnut checkers, I respect it.
Jada Parker. Tiffany Parker.
Thank you.
Tiffany Jordan and Tiffany Petrovich are all seated at
Tiffany
ringside.
Petrovich is crazy.
Okay. Carmen Petrovich is sitting there. Kalani Jordan, Jada Parker. Separately, obviously. If they were seated next to each other, they'd be a brawl.
Yeah.
But he does say, Carmen Petrovich, riding one hell of a win streak. Do you know how long her win streak is?
1 win. Isn't it 1 win?
No, it's not 1 win. That's actually... It's 4. Which is... Technically,
okay, that's a streak.
One hell of
three or more is
the streak. The first one of the 4 goes back to early November. So, and also, she was in a couple of battle royals where she lost. So, technically, she didn't win those matches, but that's not what I'm talking about. The most recent of those wins. Do you know which one it is and how she came by it?
I feel like you're my teacher. It was more recent. Wasn't it?
Yes, that was a very recent one. Was
it against Sol Ruka?
No, it wasn't against Sol Ruka.
Who was it against? Because it was the
it was
crappy
against
ending,
Kalani
right?
Jordan.
It was the overturned nonsense.
Yes.
Where Kalani was too mean after the bell.
She in her most recent victory, she tapped out. So stop telling your play-by-play analysts to lie to us or obfuscate the truth. If you want Carmen Petrovich to be on a win streak, don't book her to tap out to Kalani Jordan and then have a different ref who wasn't at all involved in the match run down afterwards and say, Kalani Jordan, you're out of line. Now the winner is Carmen Petrovich, who just tapped out to you. Don't do that, because to me, it feels very inauthentic and cheapens the whole thing. Anyway, those three women that I mentioned, Tiffany Parker, Tiffany Jordan, Tiffany Petrovich,
Of course.
they're all fighting each other on Tuesday for the right to face Tiffany Vaquer, who just beat Tiffany Fallon tonight. Stephanie Vaquer is everything she's cracked up to
Oh
be.
boy, is she? Yeah.
She's phenomenal.
Fallon Henley's best match too. Like
Yeah, but
yeah.
Fallon has always been low key very good.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like even a year and a half ago, she was always low key very good, and then now she's starting to have dance partners who really up your game. So many times she was very good with people she was in the ring with who weren't as good as she was. And she isn't, I don't think, at the point where she can drag somebody else up to her level.
Right. Probably not ring general status yet. Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think she's at the point where she can actively make her opponent better in the ring. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But she is at the point where if she's in a match with somebody who is that, she's going to knock it out of the park. And that's what it was tonight. I feel like Fallon and Tiffany and Tiffany, I feel like they just had an amazing match.
They did.
Together.
They really
did. Good stuff. I mean, obviously all the attempted shenanigans by JC Jane and Jasmine Nix of the many continents, they were always involved. The referee could have kicked them out after the first time they got involved, but decided not to. There was a multiple chance of ref you suck tonight from the Washington people.
There were.
I think
good on them.
But I also think it stems from watching too many Washington Wizards games and not really wanting to blame your own guys. So you just blame the refs. You know what I mean? I feel like that's where it stems from. But they were saying ref you suck for the first time, where Jasmine Nix stood on the apron and was having a conversation with her own friend, Fallon Henley.
Yes.
And not getting involved at all. No danger of touching Stephanie Vaquer. But he walked over and says, hey, now you are not allowed to have this conversation while you stand on the apron. You should get down, and if you want to talk to her, you can get out of the ring and go converse with her. I'm going to talk with you two for a very long time while JC Jane hits Stephanie Vaquer in the face. So, I mean, he's not very observant, and they didn't appreciate it.
Correct.
But I really enjoyed this match a lot. They got involved, but it didn't matter. Stephanie Vaquer, when she hit the package backbreaker,
yeah,
and then she went to the top, I was like, oh no. She needed to put another stamp on it. So she goes to the top, and the referee goes and checks on Fallon, and then JC Jane shoves her off the top rope. And then I saw that JC and her and Jasmine were still selling the effects of the super kicks on the outside from 10 seconds ago. And I was like, she's actually going to win this thing. Bravo, because I thought they might just push it off and have the title change at Stand and Deliver.
Sure.
Because they love doing that stuff, unnecessarily booking a couple of let's go ahead and factor in that we're going to need a rematch for this thing and just do it later. But they didn't. She hit a spiral tap. It was awesome. Looked great. It's a cool new way for her to win matches. It beat Fallon Henley clean as a whistling sheet in the middle of the ring. Awesome stuff. I think Fallon, if you asked me a year ago, would she ever have a title reign? I would say no. Then they introduced the North American Championship for the women, and I still would have said it's 50-50, but they had her beat Kalani Jordan, and she held it for several months. She looked good in a bunch of matches. She won a couple of them without the interference. So that's always great, and I'm very happy for her. But at the same time, and I want you to talk about the match and everything about it, but I am looking at Fallon Henley going, what is, considering who they released from the main roster, recently, where is her ceiling and where does she go from here? Because I think she's very talented, but I don't know where they slot her.
Yeah, that's a tricky one, but starting with the match was great. Match was great. This was my favorite defense of Fallon's. Very much like seeing ZSJ lose. I was like, oh, it sucks that they lost, but it's so great. Like the way it went down, and it was my favorite defense of theirs, and it's a good love letter to the work that they did. Yeah, it sucks that Fallon's been, quote unquote, to your point, low-key great, because she is great. And I don't think people realize how many defenses she had. She had 8 defenses.
Wow.
And she was a really, as great as this influx of talent has been, and it is, her title reign was kind of a stabilizing force while they got all that sorted out of all these multi-woman matches and who's going where and is Roxanne going up and who's doing what. Like, she kind of held it down, and I think she deserves more credit than she gets. And that's probably a little bit on me, considering I review the show every Tuesday. But, like, she did some really, really solid work. I'm not someone that loves, like, interference-heavy angles, but that's a matter of taste. That's not a reflection of her or the group. I think we're probably headed toward an implosion now that she's not champ, so that'll probably last until Stand and Deliver or so. It's not like that women's mid-card title on the main roster. Like, that whole picture doesn't need challengers. They don't have any. I wish they did. I wish people with mid-card titles stopped trying to qualify for other titles constantly. That's dumb. So I think she could do great on the main roster in that picture, at least to start. But this was the right call for tonight. I think they want Giulia and Steph going into Stand and Deliver with those titles, and I believe that's the right call as well. I'm glad that they're not dragging this out, to your point as well, because like they got a Real Deal TV now, and Ricky Starks is here, and these 3 incredible powerhouse women are here. Like, it's time to start giving this the same efforts. And to their credit, I gotta say, like, as far as the mid-card title goes, they're certainly doing more with this mid-card title than they were doing on the main roster. Even when Kalani was holding it and we didn't love what they were doing for her in her reign, she was defending and they were doing stuff with it. Like, my goodness. So, but Will saying that last 2 minutes, Stephanie went off like the killer she is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really, really picked up. I loved the armbar spot, too, for Fallon. Really, really good stuff. This was a great match, and I too like that Fallon got to rise to the level of her potential rather than have to kind of match someone else's freak in that way. This was really encouraging to see.
Agreed. Tom Lavallee, of course, talking about the fatal influencers.
Yes.
Who, of course, are Tiffany Fallon, Tiffy Tane, and Tiffany Nix.
When you said how many consonants, I wanted to make that joke, but I didn't want to interrupt. But yes.
T is Tiffany Nix. When she spells it, it's TYYPHHFYNNI.
Tiffany.
That's just
That's so complicated.
You ever meet somebody who spells like a regular name really crazy, and then they get offended when you mention that, like, oh, I've never heard it spelled that way. Well, why? How do you spell it?
Do you know how many people tried to mess around with the word Kate? So many.
Too many.
So many.
Also here, this is very good. J White Chocolate. Fantastic.
Very good.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I can't control my heart. Yeet when I'm with you. You Dwayne The Rock Johnson, my world.
That was really beautiful. Thank you for sharing your poetry with us.
Yes, very good. The Amazing Red Rose and Sexual Chocolate.
Beautiful.
They did a very quick little backstage thing with her saying, hey, I made history tonight, and I'm gonna stick around and watch the main event. Main event, of course, was the women's match, as it should be.
As God intended. 2 women's main events on both shows tonight.
As it should be, and also this is why you put Oba Femi with these 2 yahoos who have no chance of beating him because they're yahoos. I don't know. That's as accurate a description as I could give. But because you're going to do the women's main event, and so you don't want to like do a split focus thing. There was a backstage segment with Ava. Part of it is Ava just being terrible at her job. Because on two separate occasions, and we'll get into them, a bunch of masked guys jump people in the ring, and she goes, "Yes, very concerning, but I'm not going to think about that right now." Isn't that your job to think about that, right? Isn't that the most pressing thing, that a bunch of people jumped your world champion? Anyway, then then we see Ariana Venti is back. Ariana Venti is back from being the liaison to TNA, and she brought dear old dad with her. Alex must be in utter dread over the return of Santino. All hail the Cobra. Listen, I'm just glad he's not at least I hope he's not gonna be an active wrestler anymore, because like him doing goofy stuff backstage as part of like the authority team or whatever, I'm way better with than him winning because he put a green colored sock on his forearm. Like I'm so much Santino doing that there different than Santino doing. So that's my thing. I mean,
Cobras are a lethal snake. I can't believe you. This was actually very sweet. Like I think it was fun to be able to put, like, because Ariana's such a cut up and Santino's very funny. I saw him on the Jericho cruise and he was hysterical in some of the like performance based stuff they did on that. So it's never like the performers; it's the context that they're used in usually. And this was sweet. This was perfectly fine. I was for this. Ariana's very funny too, and I like seeing her on screen. So, also seems to have dropped the Miss NXT stuff a little bit. She's like the talent liaison. She didn't really have like
literally wearing a sash that said Miss
was
NXT
she?
on it.
Okay, I didn't see it.
She has not dropped it at all. She is literally still carrying it on her person.
I just saw her like face come in, and she was talking. So
she was there, but so we have some ideas for big matches for the Cincy show in 2 weeks, and then the MSG Theater show March 11th, Roadblock. So he's going to be in charge of deciding which talents from TNA come to NXT to lose matches. So that'll be fun. So I guess we'll see much more about it. Line Drive bringing up this, which is true. Wade Barrett, Vic Joseph, and Beth Phoenix reunion. Only team to make three people work. Great. But I think Beth Phoenix is probably not part of this anymore. But
I want her versus Athena so.
I don't know what if she's got a match left in her. I mean, that'd be kind of fun. But yes, they were so great together. They really, really were.
They really were.
Really, Will Chisholm says that Wade cannot say Bianca right. He calls her Bianca. And Will Chisholm says it pops him. So it does. It's pop worthy. Also pop worthy. Turns out that the newly formed Team Double Vest can really go. They were excellent in that triple threat match to get the tag title shots.
They were, yes.
And they were excellent in this too. This was really, really great. Listen, now there is a pejorative associated when you say things like, this guy's a really good tag team guy, but I don't know about as a singles dude. You know what I mean? But, and I understand why the pejorative exists. However, tag team wrestling is really hard. And it is a specific thing, and not everybody can do it well.
Arguably harder, yeah.
So when I say things like, I think Josh Briggs his thing is he's a great tag guy. I'm not because I thought he did very well for himself when he was doing a little singles run. I thought his part of the triple threat with Oba Femi and Dijak and Stand Deliver was very, very good. I get that part too, but like there is just something when that dude tags in his giant boots. And he's always seems to be he is a really, really good at some of these big tag team guys, not to be stereotypical, but they're not the most cerebral fellas. So sometimes you find them out of position. where they're supposed to be at the time they're supposed to be. He's always right where he needs to be to do the surprise, grab you by the throat, or I'm here to catch a dude diving on me. He's always in position.
Very much.
He's really, really good at that. I think that Inamura obviously belongs. I don't know what the exchange thing is with him and Noah, and like whether or not he's like semi-permanent here.
Yeah,
or
like
if he's
is this extortion
back.
or what?
I don't know what that is, but he's really fun. And I think the two of them work really well together. And what more can be said at this point about the Blurry Boys? They're verging on, I think, almost an ironclad argument for best tag team, top 3 tag team in NXT history, like, which goes back far enough to be like FTR, American Alpha, DIY. Like, they're verging on that thing where it's like it's inarguable they're in the top 3, which is just whether or not who you take out of the top 3 is up to you. Do you take out DIY? Do you take out FTR, Revival? Do you take out American Alpha? Who do you take out? Because there have been a lot, especially back in the Black and Gold days. But like these guys, they have found with
Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly,
wildly different tag teams. Because so much of back in the day, those there were only a few at the top, and then you had people on the undercard where you were like, these guys are never getting a title shot. So they were just there for fodder. But now, there's so much influx. They had really great matches with OTM.
Yeah.
They got, and honestly, to my mind, an almost 5-star classic out of Malik Blade and Edris Enofé.
Legit, yeah.
These guys bring everybody up to this level because they're all, like, as long as you can make it look convincing that they are too fast for you, which it probably is pretty easy to make that look convincing.
Oh, man, that must be tough. Yeah.
All their shtick is really going to work well. They're ping-ponging all over the ring. If you can get a boot up at the right point, they're going to run face first into it
they are.
And make you look like $1 million. This was excellent. And at the same point, even though I do think that they got to be going up sooner or later, Axiom, Blurry Boys.
Sure.
I still didn't think tonight was the night. So I didn't think there was a chance that they were going to lose this match, but all the near falls were excellent. Really cool bits in here. Inamura, like, trading chops with Axiom, and then eventually like, oh no, I'll give you one free shot. Let me put my hands behind my back. This will be fun. And he just hits him with a golden ratio. Like, this was really, really fun stuff. I really enjoyed the hell out of this match.
Yeah, it was like a classic Japanese psychology spot. I love those. Booker T tried really hard to ruin this match for me, but even he couldn't. This match was awesome. Ryan Sachini saying Inamura getting cheers rocked. What is so fun to me about that tag team, I think I said this last week, because that match ruled too, there's not really, when you have two big guys that can work like this, there's not really a hot tag. They're kind of both the hot tag if the match is structured accordingly. And that's really fun, and I think pretty rare in modern wrestling, especially, of like, to have it so Inamura can have both of, he can have Nathan Frazer on his back, and he can have Axiom around his waist, basically, and he can spin him around and whatever. Like, there's a lot of really, really fun spots, and it's just whichever one is going to be kind of the one that's in there longer and doing strong boy work, and which guy's going to come in and have a flurry of offense. But the way that they complement each other, it kind of feels like both of them can really be the quote-unquote hot tag, just depending on how you produce the match. So I really appreciate that about this. This match is super fun, and it feels like I've been waiting for tag teams to quote-unquote get made. And I hate saying that, because it's just a feeling you have. There's not really, it's not a flip that switched. It's not these guys are now made. But like, when you have a team like Axiom, they're capable of doing that with teams. And this definitely felt like that kind of performance to me. OTM certainly feels like they were leaps ahead of where they were kind of before that match that they had. So just really, really productive tag team reign for them. Also didn't feel like tonight was the night. I don't know what the plan is on the main roster for those tag titles, if they're going to do a 4-pack or whatever. If they hold them till Stand and Deliver and drop there and then beat DIY or whoever, I think it would be really fun to have the New Day hold them and get beat by this team. That's the move that I would make of heel New Day actually wrestling.
If they were going to do that, that would be an awesome thing for them to start that path at any point.
Yeah,
here's an idea for when they could have started that path. How about the week after the New Day kick Big E out of their stable in the most emotionally affecting heel turn we may have ever seen? What if they did it like a week after that? So, I don't know, let's say 2.5 months ago. Should we do it then?
Would be neat.
Okay, that's awesome. So get right on that, guys. Build a time machine, go back 2.5 months, and start the story of the New Day getting the tag team titles with, all that heat that they're generating from kicking Big E out of their stable in the most emotionally affecting heel turn we've ever seen. And then once they have the tag titles, they hold them with an iron grip, and they put aside all their challengers, and they beat everybody, and they intentionally injure Rey Mysterio, and they go on, and now they've had the tag titles for, I don't know, something like, let's say 5 months by the time WrestleMania rolls around. And then they go in the middle of the ring and say, nobody can beat us. We're the greatest tag team ever. Who could possibly beat us? And out come the newly called up Blurry Boys, who have an amazing match with the New Day and become the new champs at WrestleMania. So now all you got to do is invent time travel and then go back 2.5 months.
Honestly, very distracted that whole rant by your antennae. But if Valentine. I also have like a couple of other priorities before they get to tag team booking if they invent time travel. So I did just want to say that.
Fine.
But you know what, Alex?
What's that?
This match was great. And it had me standing on end.
You always do this one. You always do the
My dick was hard for this. How's that? My penis was erect for this match. More so than your Valentine. But if yours was not, that's a normal reaction to have to a wrestling match. But if you want it to be, our friends at Blue Chew have you covered.
Blue Chew, main event performance, main event confidence, and a main event deal. Go to BlueChew.com and use the code FIGHTFUL, and you will get Blue Chew with their first shipment for free. Shipment? Yeah, I said shipment. No waiting in line at the pharmacy, no awkward doctor's visits. You take their online exam, and then if approved, it's shipped straight to your door. That's right. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable form and much more affordable. How can you pass up on this? How can you pass up on that confidence? How can you pass up on that performance? How can you pass up on making your sex life better? That's what Blue Chew is here to do. You don't have to have a problem to use Blue Chew. Just get that additional performance. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
That's an all-time moment right there. When we go into the podcasting Hall of Fame, that's right, and that's in the highlight package.
It's my finest work. I broke Alex.
Whoa. Was not prepared.
This show ain't rated PG.
No.
All right.
Oh boy. Hey, afterwards, the Blurry Boys wanted to show that Briggs and Inamura, old team Double Vest, they wanted to show them a little respect. They wanted to put some respect on their nyams, and so they...
Which, of course, are Tiffany.
Right. It's Tiffany Briggs and Tiffany Inamura.
Tiffany Inamura really rolls off the tongue.
It does. So they decided to give them the old shake of the hand skis. And so... Here comes four gentlemen. One of whom is immediately recognized as Dion Lennox.
Yes.
And another guy, they're all wearing masks except for one guy's mask falls off. And
It's giving retribution.
It's giving retribution for sure, but it's also intentionally giving Goodwill Shield, like
Yes.
like Wish.com wouldn't sell these particular Shield costumes. They're a little too low rent for Shield. Like you had to go to the Goodwill in the bad part of town to get these Shield costumes. They're wearing almost the exact same, like little Hounds of Hell, the Hounds of Justice half masks. They're dressed all in black, a la Retribution. But one of the dudes' mask fall. That's Saquon Sugars, I believe, was his name. The guy coming in, but I don't know what they're going to call him yet. Also, he seems to have a problem with one of the sleeves of his hoodie. It doesn't work, I guess, because he had his arm through one half of the hoodie, maybe his other half. Only one of his arms was cold, so he put his arm in that sleeve, and the other arm running a little hot, so he didn't put his arm in that sleeve. And I suppose that's what's called fashion. However, it was just distracting for me. I was like, oh no,
You
he
get
doesn't know how
distracted
to...
by fashion a lot.
I do.
Fashion.
I was worried whether or not he knew how to put on a shirt. And I was thinking, maybe does that guy need to be in the concussion protocol? Because he seems to have lost the ability to dress himself. And once that happens, you have some serious CTE. So...
or you're just
concerned.
like Sad Corbin, but yeah.
I was concerned. I believe that these, I don't know who all these guys are, but it was posited by Corey Brennan at first when we saw their silhouettes that one guy was going to be Keanu Carver. Keanu Carver is not in this faction. 2 out of 10. Keanu Carver is not in the faction. All of a sudden, it's a 2 out of 10 faction. But one of the guys who's in this faction is Dion Lennox. And the last time we saw him, he lost to Wes Lee, and then he got brushed past by Trick Williams, and he followed Trick Williams as he walked past him with hatred in his eyes. And so here's what happened. Dion Lennox got friend-zoned hard by Carmen Petrovich, who's like, I like this guy, but I don't know if he likes me back. You're such a good friend. Can you tell me what boys want? And like so many of our troubled youth, when they feel like they're not getting the right kind of attention from women, they don't know how to process it. Therapy is out of the question, and so they decide to join a gang, and that is what has happened with Dion Lennox. And I feel he was the only member of the male NXT roster who knew how to read, and now he's fallen. He's joined a gang, Kate. This is not good.
One of them was Lucky Ali, who's incredible, so that's good news. I feel like we saw a teaser of a certain person with a white eyeball last week. And I feel like Aleister Black probably just goes to SmackDown, especially with his wife moving there.
Right.
But is there any chance he's coming back to lead these guys?
No.
They don't seem spooky enough.
I won't accept it. I'm sorry. This is not his new House of Black. This is not... These dudes, low rent Shield Tribution is not a replacement for Buddy and Brody.
Well, nothing is.
Where is their Giulia Hart? Where is the woman with Christmas lights on her hat that's far too big for her? We can't. If he's gonna come to NXT, he's gotta get a really great faction behind him, or he can be solo. But with these dudes, this is not gonna work. I don't know anything about them, but at this point in the night, them coming back to like send notice to the tag division, I was like, oh, is that all you boys are doing? All right. I mean, okay, cool. I'm honestly very happy they're keeping them siloed in the mid card, at least for now, because what we don't want is a team that is a faction that is presented as low rent Shield Tribution to be anywhere near the main event of NXT, because that would be terrible. And I'm so glad they're not doing that, is what I thought at the time.
I am not against it yet. I think the debut was a little lackluster for sure. I'm more worried that the booking against Oba Femi is going to be some John Cena Nexus stuff. That worries me more because none of them are...
No. Oba Femi is the guy who puts down the Nexus Part 3. Like he's the dude who does it. He should do it. It makes sense. I think they should form a faction of 18 fellas who all fight him at once, and he wins anyway. No, there's no such thing. Super Oba isn't like a pejorative attached to him, like Super Cena. It's just who he is.
It's just who he is.
It's just who he is.
So, like, I feel like the presentation was not great. I feel like there's some talent in there that can do some really great work, so I'm open-minded to see where it goes. I do appreciate better than the Death Riders, like, of the fact that they are actually putting the product on notice. Like, they actually are coming after multiple acts on the show, so I think that is good.
At this point, meaning right when they started, at this point in the Death Riders angle, they were also doing this. So let's give them 4 months and let's see if they take over the CW by just cutting a promo. If they do that, then I think you might be right.
I feel like they got lazy and that they're like, you know what always looks cool? This thing, and it didn't look very cool. So I'm optimistic because I know Lucky Ali has done some really great work. I don't feel like the crowd was chanting, "Who are you?" Mm-hmm. And they weren't like, "Whoa," which I think is what you want. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you want the crowd being like, "What's the deal?" I think they want them being like, "Holy crap, what is this?" Like, that's what worked about the Shield. That's what worked about the Nexus. It was like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden 5 heels showed up, or 4 heels showed up, or 3 heels showed up. So I think that's the reaction you're going for. I don't think that's what they got tonight, but we'll see where it goes. I am weary of stable takeover product angles in general. I'll say that much. Right. I feel like it takes a lot of work to make them work, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah. There you go. Cyclops, the better woman, when he says Lennox got friend zoned, and then he's doing the red pill, basically.
Not great.
Yeah, you don't want a red pill after you got friend zoned. That's what that leads to bad stuff.
Not great. You want a blue pill and chewable.
Yeah, that's what you do. Yes. Will Chisholm says that Ava's like, I'm gonna call Roman. He's gonna take care of him. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. When that was presented to her, hey, these guys are invading. Is this weird? It's like, whatever. I don't want to think about it right now. It's like a teenage girl who's like got a big project due on Monday and it's Friday afternoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I can't think about it.
I can't think about that right now. I got stuff to do.
I have too much going on. I'm so stressed.
Yeah. This is good. Let's see here. Nixon Newell. Insert clever Nixon Newell pun is Nixon Newell Corazon. Newell Corazon.
That's so beautiful. Thank you.
And Lieutenant Photo says, our love burns hotter than Swerve's childhood home.
Oh, I wish I got that Valentine yesterday.
That'd be very nice. Yes, here we go. Will Chisholm says, I wanted that mask back then, but WWE never sold it because Vince doesn't know what's cool. It's crazy to me they never sold those little half masks the Shield wore at the beginning of the Shield. They stopped wearing them pretty quick, but like at the beginning, that was like the height. And Ryan Cicchini says, so did Lennox wear glasses for recon work? But for real, thought the group had a good intro. Think Saquon would be the standout. He certainly looks to be the standout now because it's Deion Lennox, a mid-card guy who we've seen before, who seems fine but not special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, not as presented.
Not bad, but like nothing. I was like, wow, that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy who everyone thought was Keanu Carver is actually Osiris Griffin, but we don't know who that is.
It's not Ricky Starks.
A generic white guy? I don't know who the generic white guy is. He's got a fade. He got a little high and tight. White guy. Don't know who that guy is, but I don't know if he doesn't seem very he just looks like a generic white wrestler to me. I don't know who he is. And then Saquon Sugars, who I think that's the guy that we think might be leaderish, but he's definitely got
think so, yeah.
the most unique look of all of them, with the one sleeve in the sweatshirt and the one sleeve out.
Certainly, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it might be true. I think would that be kind of cool if Nick, if Deion Lennox was wearing the glasses, but they weren't like regular glasses. They were like the Chris Helmsworth Super Bowl ad glasses, where he could like talk to Meta through them, and then he could like watch people's faces and then scan them into his glasses, and then he would know what they were thinking. Maybe
that feels like what they were trying to make Apollo Crews, but didn't.
Yeah.
I'm
here
trying to see if Corey Brendan has anything on this new group.
Rob says chances that Andre Chase is behind this new faction.
I'm gonna say minimal. Doesn't feel like his thing.
I don't know, man. Here's the deal. Andre Chase can't button a shirt right. Saquon Sugars doesn't know how sleeves work. I think that's enough of a connection to make you assume that they're related in some way. Right?
Of course.
Yeah. Hey, was the next thing the Ethan Page and Javon, right? Were there only 5 matches on the show?
No, there were 6.
6. That's right. So was it Javon and Ethan, or was it
the strap match?
Strap match next. Fine.
What happens when we have no Luis?
No, we have no Luis.
We fall apart without Luis.
It's his match. It's Eddie Thorpe's match. Is the strap match, and as we have seen with Darby Allin and coffin matches, you win most of those when they are your match.
Your thing, yeah. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep going for them.
Right. So I suppose that I shouldn't be surprised that Eddie Thorpe won this match, and yet I am very surprised that Eddie Thorpe won this match. And maybe I shouldn't be, because as we've seen, they're not great at booking Trick Williams.
No.
You know what I mean? So it was fine. Like, a lot of fire from Trick Williams to start. Eddie Thorpe does some underhanded stuff, but it's all legal because it's a strap match. Trick Williams battles back. Eddie Thorpe regains control. Trick Williams, gets maybe a little too pumped up after strangling a dude with the strap and then not strangling him anymore. Like, I feel like you could have strangled him until he died. Like, that's not illegal. You could just do it in this match. But it said he got up and was like, "Argh!" And then Eddie Thorpe yanked up on the strap.
Exactly what it was like. It feels like I'm watching the match again right now.
It was more like this. Yeah, like that. And then Eddie Thorpe yanked up on the strap and basically forced Trick Williams to punch himself in the nuts, which I thought was a very clever way of doing the nut shot. Because honestly, even if it wasn't illegal, you can't disqualify a guy if his opponent punches himself in the nuts.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean? So, like, why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself but in the nuts?
In the
And after that, he hit him with his own running knee. The problem I have with that is that I've seen him hit the knee that looks much better. This knee was closer to hitting Trick Williams in the belly button than it was to hitting him in the jaw.
Yeah.
So you can't be, he's out right in the jaw, says Corey Graves. And then they show a replay twice.
Yeah, and the camera angle also did not help.
Hit him right here in the lower part of the middle of the chest. That didn't knock him out. So pick him up and do it again or do something else. But if you're going to have Trick Williams lose because he got knocked out by a knee and the knee hit him in the belly button, like, I don't feel like he got knocked out. And then you just listen, it should be a major deal that Trick Williams, recent former NXT champion, was pinned. And it is a big deal. So you should book it to make it look ironclad as opposed to not.
Yeah, this was a tough one because I didn't realize going into it because I was kind of sold on the story. But like this was kind of one of those neither guy should lose type things because Eddy Thorpe getting the win was huge. This was his first PLE ever. So, and him picking up the win, I think legitimizes him in a way. But it does feel like Trick is vulnerable, especially because it feels like he's going to be dealing with this new faction. And I don't want this new faction to lose a la the Nexus. That feels bad. At some point, I am ready for a Ricky Starks Trick Williams Pro Bowl battle. I think that's going to be really fun someday. Mm-hmm. But I feel like Trick is just not... I think they feel like he's kind of like an Orange Cassidy, where it's like, it doesn't matter if he loses, that guy's always over. But I don't think it works that way with Trick. Like, I feel like, yes, he's always over, but I don't think, maybe because it's not comedic, really, it doesn't work the same way, because it's not always like, oh, because that guy's so much fun. You know what I mean? Right. Or it's not like with Willow, where it's like, well, we just want to hug her all the time. Like, Trick's over because he's so cool, and he's got to continue to back it up or he doesn't become cool. So I feel like this kind of struggled from that, but match was good. I'll pull up the chat saying what I saw a lot of because it's not really mine to say, but like the visual of him getting whipped and then losing during Black History Month isn't great, especially when you consider Oba Femi also got laid out, but he was so damn dominant in the match that that reads a little bit different, but I did see quite a bit of that. But the match was fun enough. It was nice to see Trick kind of lean into some viciousness. Like, I like when that happens for him in matches. Because he has such a special thing about him that when it gets kicked up a notch, like with a stipulation or a weapon, there's something fun with that. So I like seeing that. This was, I feel like, a really good step in the right direction for Eddy Thorpe. I just want them to put Trick in something where he can immediately look dominant again, because I think he's more vulnerable than they see him as, in a way.
Yeah, that is, yeah. He, I mean, I think that his first title run was, nothing special would be giving it too much credit. And I don't think it's anything by him. It would just,
no, he had one defense against Joe Coffey. And then he lost to Ethan, and then he beat Ethan Page once in a match that was kind of awkward, and then he lost to Ethan Page. So, yeah, that was his first reign. And,
again, he beat Ilya Dragunov to become the champion, and I think everybody was like, wow, a lot of momentum. He's super over. What a great title reign this is going to be. To send NXT into the next era, and then it wasn't at all. And then he lost to Ethan Page because Ethan Page fell asleep on another guy. And then like him trying to get it back, like he decided to take a detour to get it back. Like he was like, I think I would rather fight Pete Dunne a lot for no real reason and then get my title back. When you consider that he shockingly, surprisingly won the North American title from Dominic Mysterio and then lost it back to him 2 days later and never even made mention of an attempt to reclaim it. Like, so like, if you look at his entire arc as a character since that first title win against Dominic Mysterio, it doesn't look great to be him like this point right now. I can't get Oba Femi. I want Oba Femi because I want my title back. I'm coming for Oba Femi. I can't do it because Eddy Thorpe keeps getting in the way. So I'm gonna face Eddy Thorpe in his own kind of match, and I'm gonna lose because I punched myself in the nuts. Like, it just feels like if it's a full pattern, and I if it wasn't so obvious how over he was, I would think this was an extended rib on Trick Williams. Just the way all of this is going now. I think there's a very good chance that it's him versus Eddy Thorpe, 1-on-1, either at Cincinnati, but probably at MSG. And the winner of that gets Oba Femi in a 1-on-1 match at Stand and Deliver. And I think at that point, obviously, Trick does it. But
wins.
Yeah, I just thought he's, man, the all-time king of overdue for a call-up was Braun Breaker.
Oh my God.
Second place was Carmelo Hayes. And now we have second place A. 1, 2A, and 2B. Is 2B or not 2B? That's the question. The answer is Trick Williams, because Trick Williams is that guy. He's right there with Carmelo of like, I don't know what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
But then again, with what they're doing with Carmelo on the main roster, do we want Trick Williams on the main roster? So I don't know, but he's super over. He's been the champ twice. I don't know what else there is for him to do other than put over Oba Femi hard on the way out. And they're just making that take too long, in my opinion.
Sure.
So, yeah, we'll see how much other adversity they have to give him to overcome before he can then lose to Oba Femi at Stand and Deliver.
I think they feel like their Mania plans are pretty set and they don't want to introduce anybody into stuff, but seeing where Carmelo is not is very frustrating. Because him beating R-Truth in 2.5 minutes doesn't seem like a great use of your HBK of the future. Right. But I would rather them have intentionality with who they're calling up than just call people up because look at how that's fared. So I do appreciate that. I want to program with Ricky Starks. I think that would be really, really fun on the mic and could be very, very fun in the ring as well. But it is just one of those, what does he have left to prove around here kind of things.
If you did Trick Williams beats Eddy Thorpe tonight, and then Ricky Starks is cutting his promo because he said, well, he didn't say what his name is going to be. I think they're withholding this from us just to make us squirm. I think for sure is what they are doing, because he's like the absolute one or whatever is going to be there on Tuesday to talk to address sign my contract and address everybody. So he's going to be on Tuesday. If he's out there and he does it, and then Trick Williams comes out, and he's like, I was hoping you would come out here because you have been the man around here for a long time, and now you're not anymore.
And that's
so I'm
over.
taking your spot.
Yep.
So I'm taking your spot. I'm taking your spot, and then after I do that, I'm coming for Big Man's title. And I felt you could do a really cool from Valentine's Day-ish to right before Stand and Deliver. Which one of them gets Oba Femi one-on-one? Like do a little fun 2-man program between him and Ricky Starks to start the whole thing off. You could have done that, but now it feels like we're going to silo Trick Williams and Eddy Thorpe for a while. So
I can't believe that we forgot. Of course, it's going to be Tiffany Starks.
Tiffany Starks, right?
Yeah.
Ellen Jeanette talking about main roster call-ups. What about Andre Chase coming up to the main roster to help Alpha Academy? Because what they definitely need is an out-of-work professor with depression issues. That is going to help out them tremendously.
He has university experience.
He does. He does. Ryan Lambert saw Tiffany Weenus. Is that what he was something about the thing that you no we're not going to talk about that. So where did that one? Bobby Valentine's Day Massacre.
That's very good.
That's good.
Nice.
That's good. And then we did that one as well. Oh, here's the one. Giulia Hart. Get it? Leo Crush. Maya, may I be your Valentine? And Greg the Hammer Valentine. That's the easiest one. It may be low-hanging fruit. That doesn't mean it's not ripe. It's tasty.
I love it.
Okay, so we got Javon Evans, and we got Ryan Giulia.
They face each other?
No. Ryan Giulia saying that Javon Evans and Paige might have been the most well-laid-out match ever on NXT. It was really well done, really well put together.
Very, very well done.
Getting his revenge. Did you see the interview that they posted to social media with Vic Joseph and Javon Evans? I thought that was really well done and an incredibly creative way of never mentioning Cedric Alexander's name. You know what I mean?
They did a great job of retconning.
They did a great job of retconning a whole chapter of this whole deal. Because of how close that he and Cedric had gotten, it wouldn't it have been great if he had been able to say, I have to get revenge not only for myself, but for the other people he hurt who were standing up for me. Dante Chen and my brother, Cedric Alexander, who got hurt twice now, just trying to step into the ring when I wasn't cleared. Like, it's a major part of the story they told on television, and then just he's gone. He's not in the company anymore. Now they would never do this, but it might be interesting if they had actually been obvious. Because he got hurt twice trying to defend my honor, and now no one knows if Cedric Alexander will ever wrestle in WWE ever again. Which is true, but now you can make it part of the thing. You know what I mean? Anyway, I thought Javon Evans did an amazing job in that interview. If you haven't seen it, go find it. It's on their socials.
He's a natural.
Because not only is he like this aw shucks kid, I'm bouncy. I don't know what's going on. I just love being here. But he really dropped it down to a very down to earth, sincere. He wasn't overly putting on anger or whatever. He was just telling you how it's going to be. Not only do I have to do this, but I'm gonna whoop his ass because he deserves it. Because that's the only thing I can do right now. I've thought about it. What if I get hurt I can't do it anymore, and it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it to me to have that opportunity to go in there and kick his ass. And he took all of the bouncy out of his character. Really great stuff. And then he starts this match by kicking the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And it was just wonderful the way that he did it and the way that Ethan Page was selling for him. And he, this was just a really good, perfectly laid out the switches and who's in control back and forth.
Pacing
really
was
well
great.
Done. He kicked out of a giant Ego's Edge. And then finally he tried to do his big cutter thing, but as he's looking over his shoulder to find the cutter, catches him with a punch. Giant mouthpiece he was wearing, which is a really cool piece of the prop, spits out, flies everywhere, and then he gets I love the twist of fate. You know they're calling it now the twisted grin.
The twisted grin.
Twisted grin, which I just love that it's a really well. I love that they're still using the twist in there, but also that is his smile now, is that twisted grin of his. It's a perfect way to do it. I love that he's using it. I love that he's using it as a way to target the face.
Yes.
As opposed to it's a version of a neck breaker.
It hurts your neck. Yeah, no,
it hurts your neck.
Like...
No, this one, he's trying to drop your jaw as hard as he can into his shoulder bone. So when his back meets the ground, your jaw meets his shoulder bone. There's no give there, and I'm trying to break your jaw with it. I thought that was excellent. Somebody slipped Javon Evans another blood capsule. So now we don't know, is he ever going to wrestle again? Spoiler alert, he's definitely going to wrestle again and Stand and Deliver. And then he's going to beat Ethan Page. Now, I assumed that one of the black men on this show who was wrestling singles matches was going to lose. This is the one I assumed was going to lose. It's the right one for the story. I thought Trick Williams would probably win, and I knew Oba Femi was winning. But the fact that 2 out of 3 of them lost did not have that on my bingo card.
I'm so conflicted with the Trick and Eddie Thorpe one because I don't hate it. Like, I don't know if that was the wrong move. I don't know if it was the right move, but I don't know if that was the wrong move. Like, I think it was a productive move for Eddie Thorpe, so I'm still stuck on that.
Yeah.
This was more clearly the right call. Like, This match was fantastic. I loved the ending. So many match endings on the show are not the strengths of the matches. This one super was. This was great. The mouth guard coming out was such I don't know if it was an accident or on purpose. It was a great touch. Intentional, right? A mouth guard coming out has to be. I also love Ethan Page's not match pacing from a perspective of the overall feel of the match. He has that too, but the moments of he clocked him in the jaw, and then he waited a minute, and then he laid in a bunch more punches, and then he delivered the twisted grin. His feel for that kind of stuff is pretty masterful. Javon Evans, the future. Just unreal combination of attributes in this guy. The sincere promo was so great. It felt so down to earth and so human and authentic and able to connect to. My only thing with Javon Evans, and this is a good gripe to have, Like, when he went after Ethan Page over the ropes into the announce table, he almost cleared Ethan Page. He has a propensity to not know his bounciness, which is ironic because his character
there's
is bouncy.
the saying of he doesn't know his own strength.
Yes.
Javon Evans doesn't know his own bounce.
He doesn't. Too many dryer sheets.
You know what I mean? It is that. Imagine though if he was a snuggle guy instead of bounce.
Oh my
if he was
God.
a snuggle guy, and he was just, your boy is snuggly, and he just cuddles in, for a long night on the couch.
Alex, I also have to bring up, this is how insidious wrestling is in my brain.
Yeah.
This is how this happens in my days.
Right.
You don't listen to the kids' music much. Are you familiar with the Sabrina Carpenter?
Oh, see, now, I'm sorry. I thought you said you don't listen to the kids' music much. I thought you were talking about, like, Disney soundtracks. Absolutely. I'm forced to listen to them all the time. I have a child.
Kids stuff.
Not the kids'
Like
music,
the kids.
but the kids' music. Yeah, no, I have blessedly, I have never, that I know of, heard a Sabrina Carpenter song. I'm probably sure
Not
I
the
have,
Espresso
but if I did, I didn't. I don't know. I am so out of loop on music, and I'm so happy about it because I'm old.
She has a song called Please, Please, Please. And the chorus is, heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I just in my head was like, jawbreaks are one thing, all egos another. Like, this is how my brain works. Just during the day, I was doing errands, Alex.
Wow.
This is what happens.
This is what happens. Yeah.
This is disgusting.
No, it's not good.
I can't put it down. I'm never free from it.
Yeah.
It was upsetting. It was incredible, though. But
yeah.
I don't want to be a wrestling Weird Al. Nobody asked for this. This is just what happens in my brain. Upsetting.
I am now asking for it. I'm asking you to become wrestling Weird Al.
Well, I don't know how to play the accordion.
Okay, well, I mean, learn. Harley Cameron learned how to do ventriloquism. You should learn how to play the accordion.
Harley freaking Cameron!
You should learn how to do it for me.
I learned it not watching you, but for you.
There you go. That's good. So Javon Evans versus Ethan Page at Send Delivers. It's already been booked.
Ego! Also, the only bad thing about the stuff Vaquer match.
Yeah.
These themes, bro.
I know. That's just what it is. Yeah. So I have a new plan.
You have a new plan?
New plan. I think it's a new plan that should be implemented by NXT going forward. Oba Femi only ever defends his title against two guys who
Yahoos, as you said.
Against in handicap matches. Pick a tag team, and he only defends his titles in tag team against a tag team who are only one of them can become champion, so they both want to pin him, but also they know how to work together to do things to him that hurt the most. Oba Femi is so damn compelling fighting two guys who both want to hurt him and want less to hurt each other. I honestly want to watch him versus all members of the new faction.
Yes,
not even a title match, just him fighting them. Because I think it would look like Thanos versus the Avengers. Where all five of them are required to I guess there's only four of them. All four of them wouldn't work. It's got to be five, maybe seven. So seven to get more guys in your faction, and then all of you come at him at once. He'll be able to swat off a couple of you at once, but if you might be able to take him down, but it's going to take all seven of you working in tandem. Two is not enough, as we saw tonight from Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. They came out separately. Maybe they don't like each other. All this. By the end of the match, they didn't. But during the match, it was all kind of a ruse. As soon as the thing started, they both ganged up on him at the same time. There was, you know how I am with Oba Femi matches. I barely pay attention to some when I feel like I know what's going on and I know the beats and I know these are the 5 moves that you hit or whatever. I get it. Some other ones, I make sure I kind of can time when the transition is going to be. I listen for Vic Joseph talk, like he all of a sudden there's a different timbre in his voice. Things are getting serious. Okay, I'm going to start watching. Oba Femi, I watch every frame of, because this dude is a savant, and I'm watching it, and he does little things. His reactions to stuff. He's getting pummeled by two guys at once, and I think Austin Theory was the one who laid in a really good shot to the jaw with a forearm, and it drove him down to one knee, and his face was this. Like he was like, that one hit hard. Good for you. I felt that one. Thank you. Like that kind of thing. Like he feels most alive when two men are trying to kill him, and he can fight off both of them. Like I think it's Bill the Butcher in Gangs of New York, where he's talking to Leonardo DiCaprio about how he's telling Leonardo DiCaprio the story of how he killed Leonardo DiCaprio's dad, but he doesn't know Leonardo DiCaprio is his son. But anyway, he says, that was the only man I ever killed who was worth a damn. And I always felt like that was a thing that I want more from
wrestling.
Giant monster wrestling champions. I'm going to kill you, but I'll kill you one way if you're not worth my time. But if it's another way, if I actually have to struggle to do it, that is what makes me feel alive. I could squash any of these fools one-on-one, but give them both. That's why I wanted him so much to be the one to say, Ava, give me them both. I wanted him so much to request this as opposed to be booked into it, because that was how he wrestled the match. He was relishing getting to fight both of these men at once. Like when he puts Grayson Waller through a table and gets hit in the back right afterwards by Austin, it was like, oh, good, I forgot about you. Now I get to fight you too. Because once you put Grayson Waller through the table, the match is over.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now I gotta face another guy. Like if he insisted on defending his title only in gauntlet matches, where like after he pinned one guy, another guy would immediately enter. That is how he wrestles matches like this. He is so excellent at all of the little things of being able to tell me how in danger he thinks he is in a moment. There were a couple times he was like, okay, I have to figure out a way to get you the hell out of here so I can focus on you, because you're the one who's giving me the most trouble. And he, like, you can see him do that in here. You can see him when he takes control, how much excitement he gets out of just being able to hurt men. Like this is the most I have ever been excited about getting to watch a guy's career from start to finish. Like,
yeah, there's something really special about that, and almost like intimate in a way. It's weird.
I like the fact that I watched in real time his first ever match on television. You know what I mean? And was and at that moment said, "Hold up, this dude is the truth. Where has this guy been? Why doesn't he have all the titles?" and now, a year and a half, 2 years later, they're honestly starting him down that path, and I'm watching him going like, I get to be here for the ascent, and then the plateau where he is the mountaintop. Like that part, I just want to speed up time to where he's just where he is
travel episode.
He is. I know he is. I want to get to the point where he's the ruler of WWE.
Yeah,
he's the mountain, and everyone is climbing to see if they can face this guy in the main event of WrestleMania. So what's that? 2028. Like think about how everybody else is on this crazy timeline. I'm sorry, Montez Ford can't get a real push until he's 39. But this dude, you can't deny this. This guy's amazing. So watching him do what he does to, again, a couple of yahoos. Now Grayson Waller and Austin Theory are both very skilled in-ring workers.
Yes.
But they're a comedy heel tag team. You know what I mean? Which is why I want to
They don't even like each other. Like,
I want to watch him against two big bruisers who know how to work together, who aren't a comedy tag team, but a real honest to God. I want to watch Oba Femi versus the War Raiders.
Yeah.
That's what I want to watch, because I feel like he would win, and I would be so excited to see how they would book it. Like, this was so compelling to me, and then added into it, which I honestly thought they did a very good job of building throughout the whole thing of whether or not Waller and Theory could trust each other.
They did do a good job with that story through this match, undeniably.
Out after Austin Theory hit the A-Town down, Waller jumping in the ring to do his little somersaulty stunner.
Best camera angle, they've done that.
And Oba Femi definitely stepping out of the way so he does it to Austin Theory was really good. And then him picking up Grayson Waller and that fall from Grace powerbomb. Nobody gets out of that. This is it, man. It's it. So good.
I'm glad that they know what they have in him, because there's so many times Duke Hudson where I feel like you latch on to someone.
I know.
But legitimately, like, he's also built for their ecosystem. Like, there are certain wrestlers that are in any promotion that I feel like they're really good here, but I feel like they'd be plugged in better over there. Like, Oba Femi is the right guy at the right time in the right promotion, I feel like. Yeah. And that's lightning in a bottle, is what that is. This match was really, really fun. I really do, like, appreciate what... Like, Grayson Waller's very sure of the wrestler that he is, and that's kind of all I ask for in a match that's out of your control booking-wise. You know what I mean? Like, know who you are and make it work with your dance partners. And he did a really good job in this. Austin Theory's always been great in the ring. That's never been the issue. We've seen dissension from them for like 47 years. So I'm over it. Also, the result was never in doubt. So the fact that they put on this compelling of a match when we knew is indicative to me that there's something really special going on with this guy, because we knew. And I think there's all these little things, right? Like, you talked about the facial expressions and knowing where you are at the moment and these things. And I'm, like, thinking of that in the same package as the guy that's delivering those spine busters, right? Yeah. Like, and the timing of the double choke slam on the apron and all that. Like, the fact that this guy is all those... Even the way he was tearing apart the announce table.
Yeah.
Like, there's something really... It's rare to find somebody who is so deliberate in everything they do, but also all of that very deliberate action feels extremely natural. That's rare. It's rare that it feels like no movement goes to waste, but that comes naturally to someone. Like, it's not, you don't read it on his face, and then I go and do that. Like, there's none of that with him. So that's really special. But Alex.
Yes?
Unfortunately, we can't time travel to 2028, where Oba Femi is the ruler of everything. But we can travel locations, and we can do that with our friends at NordVPN.
Buying pay-per-views on NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to enhance your pay-per-view buying process. Now, one subscription to NordVPN has so many different benefits, but if you're a big pay-per-view buyer like myself, UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff, any combination of the three, if they're doing a fight circus or something like that, this subscription will pay for itself after one or two pay-per-view buys. Change your virtual location, pay for it at the prices that other people are paying for it in the UK, in Australia, etc., etc. And you can get different interfaces. Maybe you don't like Peacock and you want to check out the WWE Network the way that it used to be, the way that it was designed to be, the easy navigation, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to watch AEW without commercials. Maybe there's some other overseas services that you can't subscribe to and you want access to them. NordVPN.com/Fightful gives you that with a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, 24/7 tech support, so if you have trouble navigating any of it, they can help you out. Fastest VPN on the planet, NordVPN.com/Fightful.
Guys, this is normally the part where I'm like, and with all the money you're saving, subscribe to Fightful Select, and here's why. All these scoops and all the news from the week like I did earlier, but you should just subscribe to Fightful Select because it's the best. I'm just going to say it. Fightful Select is just like, it's the best. It's so much fun for $6 a month. You get everything you need. You get all this bonus content, and Sean is actually really nice, and he works really hard, and Alex and I are back there every week. Multiple times a week for him, So it's a lot of fun and it's the best. So you should spend $6 because it's just like the best time.
Yeah.
If that doesn't make you want to subscribe, I don't know what does.
No.
I'm gonna continue to eat my seaweed.
After the match, the lights go out, and Oba Femi looks around, and then all those aforementioned fellas in the shield masks, shield tribute, they're standing up in the stands, and they're all spotlights on them, and then those lights go out, and then they rush the ring, and they all attack Oba Femi, and he is powerless to overcome them. And so two of them pick him up, and then they kind of like toss him feet first at the other two guys who powerbomb him. So they're all wearing the shield half masks, and their finisher is the shield powerbomb plus one more dude. Do they think that it's been long enough they can just reconstitute the Shield, but without Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose? Because those guys are kind of the reason it worked. Like, if you had picked three other dudes, it would have just been a thing that faded away that nobody cares about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not like they haven't had any matches yet where they can, like, be gifted the Shield powerbomb either, so...
No.
And Alex... How many men do you think it would actually take? I'm just gonna leave a pause there to make everybody be like, "Hey, what is a believable amount of guys to make you think Oba Femi couldn't overcome them?" I'm gonna say no fewer than 470.
Well, I mean, like, in reality, I do not think these four guys look like they will present a problem for Oba Femi. Maybe Osiris Griffin. But like the other three guys, I mean, Deion Lennox is tall, but he's more lanky than he is thick.
Sure.
I don't know about this other guy. Apparently his name is Cutler James. They did they have this new thing called LFG on A&E. They did this exact same show a couple of years ago on the Roku network. And I guess Cutler James, he won that. I don't know. I never watched it. But like, so if you're asking me, four like generic men at minimum 5 or 1 Brody King. Will Chisholm says Oba versus Brody King would feed the world, and I agree.
Yeah, we could solve world hunger right now if these companies would just get along, but they don't. So
yeah, I agree. I'm very intrigued to see what this is. It feels like they need a leader. I don't.
That's how I felt too.
Maybe
I don't think
Sugars is the leader, but like, I don't know what their plans are for Ricky Starks or whatever the hell they're going to name him. But like, if this is his advanced team,
it doesn't feel like his vibe.
But hold on. Okay, he's in WWE now. Do you think that WWE bookers would think that they could believably present Ricky Starks by himself as a challenger to Oba Femi?
No, but I also don't think the guys... Like, when Ricky showed up, he was like, don't mind the handsome face and the expensive fragrance. Mm-hmm. That guy doesn't lead these guys.
No, that's the problem, is that they've given them an aesthetic that doesn't mesh with his.
Right.
But that guy would absolutely hire a team of goons to weaken the dude that he would fight. Like, the guy who has the expensive fragrance has the money to spend to like hire a team of mercenaries to take out his opponent, but make him weakened before he has the title match versus him. Like, that makes sense, but not the way they're presenting these guys does not jive with that. So I just somebody's got to be in charge of this. They can't all be equals, because that is pretty lame. If they're going for the tag titles, fine. If they're going for Oba Femi's title, one of them's got to be the leader. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree with that.
So yeah, I look forward to watching Oba Femi fully nexus these twerps and move on beyond them. I do like the through line of Dion Lennox a few weeks ago saying, "Hey, what if I maybe faced you for that title and beat you one day?" And Oba been like, and
That's
now
cute.
he's part of the group that actually targeted them. That's interesting, I guess, but we'll see.
Wesley, the chat is saying. What do you think about that?
Wesley could be, but like he's already got his own boys, the bouncy beef. I don't know if they're gonna be doing much. Tyreek and Tyson. I don't know how this is all going, but we'll see. We'll see. All I know is it's not Andre Chase, and so I'm happy about that. Women's main event, excellent, uniformly excellent. If this is as I fully expect it to be, Roxanne's last appearance on this brand, she had a fantastic swan song. She sewed up all the stuff between her and Cora, where they made up for a second, and then Cora turned on her, and then Roxanne said, "You turn on me, I'm going to turn on you, bitch." That was all a really good little mini story encapsulated within this. Hold on. Kylie asks what you're munching on, and it's kale jerky. She's eating kale jerky.
It's seaweed that I am supposed to eat because my doctor said so at specific times of day. Otherwise, it would not be like an embarrassment, you know?
Still say it's kale jerky. So anyway, I thought that was excellent. I thought that Bayley did a really great job. It was kind of as cool for her to come back. Giulia is amazing. Cora looks like she's headed to TNA for a bit to do some Masha Slamovich stuff. So they didn't want her taking the pin. Thank God, coming out of that to go and like, hey, here's a person who just lost. Here's she's a challenger for the TNA Women's Championship. I like that. If Roxanne is on her way out, this was a cool way of doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
I believe it was, Cora hit her little dirty deeds on Roxanne, and then she got hit by a running knee, the Arrivederci, to Cora, and then one more to Roxanne, and then Roxanne took a Northern Lights bomb. Roxanne took the dirty deeds, a running knee, and a Northern Lights bomb in the span of 12 seconds. She was protected.
Very much
So she lost. She put over Giulia. Giulia's the champion. Bayley's not appearing in NXT anymore. She's going back to Raw. Roxanne on Monday is probably somehow qualifying by beating Raquel. Because Bianca and Naomi are silly enough to believe that Raquel is in charge. It was the one who attacked Jade Cargill, so they're going to cost Raquel in some way, and that's how Roxanne will get to go to Elimination Chamber. So she's fine. She's on the main roster already in the Elimination Chamber. She's okay. I don't think anybody can be like, well, I thought Cora should have taken the pin. Like, it's fine. Everyone's going to be fine coming out of this. We're all good. Giulia looks great.
There were some
the match
moments
was excellent.
There were some moments in this where the experience of Bayley being in these matches was evident. In a kayfabe way, that it was obvious that she was the most veteran wrestler in the match in a really, really good way. She was just a little bit more clever than everyone, but I thought everybody got a chance to shine. Cora's looked better than we've seen her in a long time in the past 2 matches that she's had, I would say, which is encouraging to see. But I do feel like if this is her last match, and I don't know if she had like a post-match promo or anything like that, but this was really, really, really well done. Giulia is great. I want her to be in a one-on-one program that is substantive and more about her. Moving on. Give Roxanne the Continental title. I'm sorry, Lyra, but Bayley and Roxanne at WrestleMania for that Continental title, if it's going to be on Raw, the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So earlier in the night, we saw the social media thing of Sol Ruka and Delta Zarya hanging out at the beach. And it was just Sol Ruka doing all of her beachy stuff. And Zelta comedy no-selling it. She can't do a handstand. She doesn't like playing volleyball. She doesn't know how to skateboard. They cut to her having all of the pads being put on her, and she's angry about that. She looks like a little toddler hating that they have to like wear the pads to like go skating because they don't want to put on elbow pads. Mom, in this, they turned her into a comedy big man. Everybody thought I was overreacting when I said that they were turning Ethan Page into the Miz. I was proven right. They have since course corrected, which means they can course correct from this. But I am telling you the truth. Tonight, they turned Zelta into Otis. They turned her into a comedy big man. I'm not okay with this. Considering how the show ended, with Giulia having won, brand new champion Stephanie Vaquer comes out, and then we get Jordynne Grace's music, and she walks to the ring, and Zelta is a comedy big man in a sketch with Sol Ruka. I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with them downgrading her, considering how she came into the company, just laying waste to everybody. He pinned Roxanne in the 10-woman tag that also featured Jordynne Grace in early November, and here we are in February, and she's not on the show, and she's being presented like Otis. Like she's just like I don't get it. When I say like this was great, and I'm fearful because there are people who should be presented in a better way, and top of the list is Zelta. Is our beloved Delta Brady, who absolutely belongs way over this.
She climbed a mountain and a wall on the mountain.
She fought a bunch of women in a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles, and then she climbed a mountain. At the top of the mountain was a brick wall, and she punched a hole in the brick wall. But now she doesn't know how to skateboard.
And they didn't even have her F5 a shark, Alex.
They were at the beach. They were at the beach, Kate, where sharks are known to frequent. And they did not have Zelta F5 a shark, which is the biggest betrayal of them all.
It's messed up. It's honestly messed up. Jordynne Grace closing the show. Awesome.
I'm very happy for Jordynne Grace. She should be on the main roster from the word go.
I get that, but I am team have plans for people on the main roster because we've seen what happens when they don't. So I would rather see her at Stand and Deliver versus one of these two women than I would her floundering on the main roster. Where did Alex go? But God bless. We need our Zelta back. I think what they're going to do is this nonsense, and then she's going to turn on Sol Ruka, and she's going to do so viciously, and they think that is going to put her over like Rover. And it probably will. But, like, she could also just have come in and squashed 10 people and then had a feud with Sol Ruka. Like, I don't need this pit stop to Tag Teamsville when you don't have tag team titles around. That seems silly.
I'm also team have plans on the main roster. But I am also team whatever those plans were, they got changed when we signed Jordynne Grace.
Understandable.
You know what I mean? Like that's my thing. So
yeah, Jordynne Grace beats Chelsea Green or whatever. Yeah, like I hear you on
she
that.
shows up on SmackDown on day one and squashes Chelsea Green. In the middle of the match, Piper tries to get involved. She just hefts her up and tosses her out of the ring. Just she is it. And then she says, "I don't care who you are. Come on, let's fight." And who answers the call because she's also on SmackDown and hasn't have anything to do right now? I don't know. Maybe she does. I don't know. Nia Jax versus Jordynne Grace for the women's U.S. title at WrestleMania. That's the thing. You could just do that. I don't know what your other plans were. Are they as good as that? No. Just do that instead.
We are closing out, so I just wanted to pull this up from Kylie, who
yes.
we love, who says, "Stupid basketball. I hope you all are well."
We have to wait a little while longer. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's probably starting sooner than later, right? The celebrity game? Or the All-Star game, rather?
No, it's almost over. They're not
Yeah,
doing. They
so
all
that's
start.
what I
Yeah,
mean. Collision
yeah.
will
It's
be
almost
starting soon.
Collision will start soon. Well, it'll be fine. We'll all be fine.
We're gonna collide,
Yeah, but
but
um, yeah. The last dunk is coming up, so 12 minutes. That's how
okay,
it works.
beautiful, beautiful. That's
Um,
basketball.
that's basketball for you. I was just as we discussed, the person I was most excited for of the three coming in was Delta. Of the three, she's the only one who got her name changed. Of the three, she's the only one who's not being presented
Like
as
a
equal
lethal
to
killer.
Jordan
Yeah.
Grace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
And they had a match and it was great.
I thought that she was doing this little dalliance with Sol Ruka for I don't know, 3 weeks, couple of weeks, and they would do a thing where they don't like each other anymore, and they have a number one contendership for eventually Stephanie Vaquer's title, and we do Stephanie. I mean, so the plan for Stand and Deliver needs to be Giulia Jordan, Stephanie Delta. That needs to be the plan. Like, if you want to add a Sol Ruka in there, fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
one of them's a triple threat. I'll take one of them being a triple threat. Zelta and Sol used to be friends, not friends anymore. They're a triple threat versus Stephanie. That's fine. I'll allow that. But like, those four women need to be around those two titles.
Agreed.
I'm not allowing one of them to be out of it. You know what I mean?
This is a huge pop. There's a ladder involved with this dunk.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ladder dunk.
It is official.
They always do that for these mid-card dunks. You know, it's always a ladder dunk.
DDDD. There will be a Grand Slam review tonight. Not by us, by the other people on this particular channel after Grand Slam is over.
That is correct. And it will have as many stars as you have Ds in your handle.
There you go.
But if your D is lacking, bluechew.com.
If you need 5 Ds to equal 1 D, perhaps the 1 D needs some BC for Blue Chew.
There you go. Heard really, really great things about Grand Slam, so enjoy it if y'all are staying up for it.
Yes, it should be a lot of fun. Yes, there you go. Guess that's it. Oh, Stax did a promo where it looked like he was talking to other people at a table, and then the camera pulled away, and he was sitting by himself. And I don't know if he was like working out a neck kink. I don't know what he was doing. If there was nobody sitting there,
he's gone to Lulu. I don't know.
Unilaterally, he has decided he will take on Sean Spears by himself on Tuesday. Spoiler alert: that's not going to go well for Stax.
Honestly, seems bad.
Yeah,
seems bad.
All right. That's it. That's it. We're done.
Really good wrestling show tonight.
Yes.
The implications are a little nervous, but the show itself was pretty good.
We will see. I again, I'm fine with Shield Tribution attacking Oba if he just nexuses all over those guys. That I'm cool with. But other than that, don't need to see him.
You're having trouble nexusing all over.
Mm-hmm.
Blue Chew. That's what happens when you insult my initial segue. By the way, you get me just blatantly saying.
Tom, if you send in a humper chat, we cannot read those. We are Luisless. And so he went through the transfer window to Fightful Espanol, and so we don't have him anymore. So we don't have it. We're gonna need access to those from Sean.
There are
if
ways
we're gonna
to
continue.
I know a guy
to get those. So
I know a
that's
guy.
good.
We will do it on Tuesday.
All right, sounds good.
But we love you so much.
All right, everybody. Enjoy Grand Slam. Should be a lot of fun. Aussie.
Oi.
Thank you. And no, I'm. Yeah. I don't even know what.
We'll do it on Tuesday. We'll do
it on Tuesday.
We can't look it up.
Tom, we'll do it on Tuesday. I'll make a note and I'll figure out what the hell this even is, but we'll do it on Tuesday, Tom. All right.
We don't
Thank
have the
you
researcher anymore.
Yeah, we don't have our researcher. This would, you know how long this would take me to Google? Literal seconds. It's just not possible now. It's too hard. I need Luis to do it all for me.
Luis.
Sean, get me a new Luis.
Give us our old Luis back.
All right. Yeah, I know. I miss our old Luis.
I love him.
I don't want a new Luis. I want my old Luis.
We have Luis at home, and we want that one.
No, I don't want that one. I want the real Luis. Okay. All right, everybody.
Enjoy Grand Slam.
See you later. Enjoy Grand Salami. Keep cool, Gabagools.